Well, it was a crazy game from start to finish, but the Seahawks offense finally gets going and they get the win against the San Francisco 49ers 30-23 here at Lumen Field.
That was a crazy game. There's a lot of stuff that happened, and a marvelous job of just hanging and staying together and keeping it going where we had a chance to win. And I mean, it just was one end to the other as far as extremes of play, and I'm really happy that our guys got a chance to get in the locker room and have fun with it and get a great win. You know, no matter when you get one, it's great, and this one was much needed.
Well, I told you it was a wild game from the opening drive. The Seahawks looked like they were going to punt the ball away on 4th down, but instead it was trickery. The ball was snapped directly to Travis Homer, who ran it 73 yards to the house for Seattle's first touchdown of the day. Special teams as a whole played lights out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give away our secrets or nothing, but, you know, throughout the week, you know, Izzo was telling us we got the green light if we see this look. And, you know, they gave it on the first play.
He gets to call his own number, so of course he's going to call it. But it was like it usually works in practice, and you know what I've seen over the years of playing special teams, it tends to work more times than it doesn't. Obviously, if it doesn't work, it looks terrible. But I think it, Coach Izzo and Coach Tracy, it was awesome that, and obviously Pete probably, gave it the green light and believes in us to execute it, and it worked better than I ever thought it could. So it was awesome to see.
Running back ADRIAN Peterson, who was signed earlier in the week, was elevated to the active roster for the game. After some early struggles, Peterson got going, eventually scoring the Seahawks' second touchdown of the day. It was his 126th of his career. He finished the day with 11 carries and 16 yards to go with the TD.
ADRIAN Peterson, I mean, come on. Think about this. I was fortunate to be able to hand off the ball to ADRIAN Peterson, where he ties Jim Brown. I mean, just what a remarkable experience just for me personally. Just I've been able to play with some amazing players, and to be able to hand off the ball to ADRIAN Peterson to let him score there was pretty special. I've always admired his work ethic and everything else.
Well, I felt like it was a great play call. The offensive line did an amazing job flowing. I think my first step and how explosive I was able to get the linebackers flowing over a little bit, and those guys did a great job of pushing up and connecting those guys. I seen Josh Norman, who was on the edge. He ended up committing inside, so I ended up just taking it outside for the touchdown. And that play right there is kind of designed to either go outside or inside. So on that one, it went outside.
Before the half was over, the Seahawks would score again. This time, ESKRIDGE would get in on the action. The rookie receiver had a huge 3rd down catch to extend the drive, and then ESKRIDGE would cap it off with a 7-yard touchdown catch, the first of his career. He finished the day with 3 catches for 35 yards.
It felt great. Yeah, it kind of knocked away everything when it comes to jitters, all of that stuff. So now, I can be more free to play, and I'm excited.
He looked good. He had a couple plays, made a first down and did a couple things that we're not surprised by. He's really got some strength to him and some explosiveness that will continue to allow him to make plays. We just got to get him going more. But he did a really nice job for us today.
The 49ers came into the game with the 6th-ranked rush attack, averaging over 130 yards a game, but the Seahawks' run defense was stout, holding them to just 71 rushing yards on the day.
You guys have seen how these guys been running the ball last 3 or 4 weeks. They've been trying to set a tone, and they want to be the tone setter. So for us, we knew it was going to be a physical game, so we knew what we had to do. We knew we had to stop the run. I think the front 7, they did a tremendous job of stopping it, and they were up for the challenge today, and they handled it, and it definitely helped us get this dub today.
After allowing San Francisco to score 23 points in the first half, the Seahawks defense came out with a different mentality in the second half to keep them off the board.
We knew we wasn't playing our standard, no matter what the offense is doing, no matter what special teams is doing, we got a standard that we have to play to, and we wasn't doing that. They had 23 points in the first half. That's been uncharacteristic of us, for the last 6, 7 weeks. So we had to come in and we had to put our foot down. And Ballore went out and made a great special teams play, got us the ball back. And, even though we didn't score on that, and we knew we had them backed up and we had to keep them backed up. So it was just one of those opportunities for us to go out and put a stamp on the game. And I think we did that in the second half by allowing no points in the second half.
The Seahawks say turnovers come in bunches. Unfortunately, there were a lot for both teams, but let's stick with the Seahawks. They had 2 interceptions on the day. First up, Bobby Wagner early in the game, and then another by Quandre Diggs in the 3rd quarter.
Unfortunately, we turned the ball over 3 times today. We haven't turned the ball over 7 times all year or something, and the ball just got away from us today. And we needed every one of the ones on the other side. Diggsy's interception, Bobby's interception, fumble recovery on the kicking team. All those things were just so necessary, and we needed every one of them to get it done.
The Diggs interception set up a Seahawks touchdown drive that was capped off by a beautiful catch in the back corner of the end zone by Tyler Lockett. That was Wilson's 2nd touchdown pass of the day. He would finish with 30 passes for 231 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception.
That was a great play by Russ. Russ was the one that made it happen. About the time I looked up for the ball, it was up in the air where only I could catch it. And, you know, I was just able to make a good play. Felt like I kind of owed him. He threw me a great ball early on, and I wasn't able to catch it. And I was just kind of like, wow, you know, so definitely glad that I got another opportunity just to be able to score.
And finally, with the Seahawks up by only a touchdown, San Francisco would get the ball back and march down the field. It would come down to the final play of the game. 4th and goal with seconds left on the clock, and Carlos Dunlap would come up with a huge play, batting down Jimmy Garoppolo's pass to essentially end the game. It was Dunlap's 2nd huge play of the night.
It's felt amazing to come through for my teammates, really. You know, they've been looking for me to make these plays all season and hadn't quite made them and had, you know, whatever you want to say going on. But today came through. Simple as that.
It's amazing, ain't it? Like, I feel like every time we get down, the game comes down to that same end zone every time we play here. So it was just one of those things where we had to bow up. We knew we had to bow up and get a stop. And I think, you know, for us, it's one of those things where, like, we never give up. You know what I mean? We always fight. I think this is a very resilient group. And, you know, no matter how people bash us and say, you know, we done and all this, we always believe. And I think that comes from great leadership.
Well, once again, the final score here from Lumen Field, 30-23, with the Seahawks getting the win over the San Francisco 49ers. The Seahawks now improve to 4-8. Up next for the Seahawks, they face the 2-10 Houston Texans on the road in Week 14.